Hello and welcome to the Shop of Joy, the podcast that celebrates the heart and the soul of retail. Whether you're serving on the shop floor, you're leading a team, or simply someone who loves a brilliant customer moment, this space is for you. Each episode will explore how to turn your store into a joyful place for your customers, your colleagues, and just as importantly, for yourself. And today, I am thrilled to welcome a very special guest, Lily Mensah. Welcome, Lily.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you for having me.
You're very, very welcome. Uh, Lily is a multi-award winning coach. She's an accredited corporate trainer, an author of Work Your Quirks, and founder of Links Media, which is a CPD approved training and mentoring organization. Lily's got 30 years experience in helping people realize their potential and has helped some amazing organizations nurture the talent that's already in their teams. HSBC, Lloyds of London, Warner Brothers, the NHS, NASA, delivering an engaging training, keynote presentations, and developing people that makes a lasting impact. So as a fellow trainer, a fellow person that's in learning and development, this has been really, really exciting for me to get Lily onto the podcast. Lily really believes that talent lives within everyone, and I know that you're super passionate about nurturing potential and celebrating individuality. And you said that your mission is simple: to nurture talent, to develop teams, and help organizations thrive. So first thing for you, Lily, the first thing that I want to really delve into is what made you actually set up Links Media in the first place?
Oh, do you know what? It was one of those moments where, the gift of redundancy. That's what I'll call it. The gift of redundancy. And I had gone to my friend's brother-in-law's house. My best friend was sitting in the garden. I was bemoaning, being let go. And I asked him, I said, "Guess the job?" And he goes, it was for an accounting firm, and he was an accountant. So I thought, oh, I'll use the barbecue to see if I could get a job there. And
Wow.
he said, "Lily, you don't need a job, but I can help you create a business. Go, go to because I think you can do it." Sometimes other people can see our promise, and
Hmm.
we can't often. So he says, "Go and think of a business name and come back and we'll do the rest." I scribbled on paper, and you will love this, sir. I sat in Harrods.
Very
I needed a
nice.
space that would get things going. I sat in Harrods and wrote on a piece of paper or a napkin, actually. Was having tea. And it just came. Links, the company name Links I was thinking about Lily Yeboah as I was then, Lily Yeboah's network of consultancy services and how
Nice.
they all link together because no
Hmm.
business is unique. It needs other people
Hmm.
to help it build itself. So it was my network that I would often ask to support me in some of the delivery that I'm doing. And I still do that today. That's the long answer to a very short question.
That's great. Now, and so you started not really knowing much about entrepreneurship then at all.
No.
And you said, was your brother an entrepreneur, or did your brother have his own business?
Yes, he had it
Nice.
was my friend's brother-in-law. He had his own accounting firm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Yeah. So
wanted a job there
you
from
had
accounting firm to accounting firm. Yeah.
very nice. And was there anything that you learn in your first couple of years as being an entrepreneur that you think would really help new entrepreneurs coming up through? Because the landscape is very, very different. I'm certainly learning as well in
Mm.
2026. The landscape is very, very different now to years and years ago. So yeah, what have you learned?
What I learned in the first year was to surround yourself with people who know better than you. and ask questions and don't be too proud. It was just it was my network. One of them helped me with a business plan.
Yeah.
Um, and another one helped me design the logo in
Nice.
terms of asking. I think then it was my brother and my brother's web designer that helped me do the logo, which I'm still using today. That was way back in, I'm still using the concepts within that. The logo has been changed. That network of people that I know, ask them. People, I think we will be surprised to learn that. But I think people shouldn't be. People genuinely want to help us,
Hmm.
but sometimes we're
Yeah.
too proud to ask.
Hmm.
So ask anyway, and most people will say yes. So ask for the things that you don't know and ask them, how do you do this? Don't be too proud. And that would be my first answer. And also have a plan as to how, like I said, a business plan as to how the first 3 years is going to be.
Yeah.
And I know not everybody is there, but setting up a limited company. I
Hmm.
know there's a lot more
Yeah.
paperwork around that, but setting up a limited company it sort of creates boundaries, clarity around
Hmm.
all those things, what you're spending. Because if you know me, I'm just everywhere with my credit card, but the business credit card is left well alone because
Nice. Yeah.
there are boundaries around that. So setting up a limited company. So that'll be one of my or three or four of the things that I'll say to a new entrepreneur thinking about it.
I love that. And I think that the first point that you touched on about having a network and getting support and asking for help where it's needed. I
Mm,
learned that very, very quickly. Setting up my business, I was like, although you think you can do all of those things alone, doesn't mean, number one, even if you can do things by yourself, doesn't mean you should be doing those things by yourself. Because sometimes there's people that are a lot more experienced in doing them, and their input is going to give you a completely fresh way of thinking. So yeah, utilizing your network and there's a quote I heard recently, which was that asking for help isn't giving up. Asking for help is showing that you're not going to give up. And I think
mm,
that's
I like that.
reframing that when you're
Mm,
starting a business and asking people for help. It shows real determination because it's hard sometimes asking for help. Showing
mm.
real determination to show that you're not going to give up. You're in this for the long haul. You need some help, and we're going to battle through this. So I think that's brilliant advice. So what for you then, Lily? What does training and developing mean in 2026?
Um, I think 2026 is the year where AI has pretty much come into its own, and a lot more people have accepted that it's here to stay. At the same time, for training and development, it's even more important for us to understand that for us and the people that I work with, especially those who have the budgets to do training and development, that in-person training, that's my sweet spot. In-person training is now even more important
Hmm.
because you can have all the training tools online, you can do all of that, but when you're actually in front of people with your colleagues or with the people, you can actually do more than just doing it through the screen. The
Yeah.
screen has its place to just pick things up as you're going along, but in-person training is the most important thing that I think, because training and development it's not about what people know, is how people show up and make
Hmm.
changes
Yeah.
over and over again. And it's the humans that do it. The AI can't make the changes. The AI can train the humans, but it's the humans that have to make the changes for business to thrive. So
And
that's one of the things for me.
I think you're spot on from what I see as well from in-person training. I think that it's so much more impactful because you can feel the energy in the room.
Mm,
You can gauge people's reactions. It's very difficult to do that on Zoom.
mhm.
The only thing is obviously sometimes with in-person training is that companies can't always do the in-person training because you've got people coming and beaming in and zooming in from all over the world. So how do you take your training that you do in person and try and make that connection digital if you can?
Um, I often sometimes you turn up and
Hmm.
somebody's can't get to the location.
Hmm.
So that's sort of hybrid. That's the
Yeah,
hybrid training. It's probably one of the toughest gigs though.
for sure.
In person on its own, online on its own, but hybrid
Yeah.
training is it's where it's really tough, making sure that everybody gets a chance to speak.
Hmm.
So I always think about when I'm talking about in-person training and connecting with the online, I bring it both things in, and I see the online bit as a hybrid training session, making sure nobody hogs the mic. It doesn't really change. There's always one person that wants to show up to the rest of their colleagues. They probably do the
Yeah.
same in the office, and people are typing behind their backs and stuff like that. But I always see also, and when they do that, I try and get them a job to do. Whether those the person that can take the notes, because then it makes them feel important. So they will be my little assistant if I don't have one. And then
Great.
they start to feel important, then they speak less because they have to listen. And so I will move and almost everything that I do in person, except, sit next to them onto the online, but the online
Hmm.
tools will allow you to be more human.
Yeah.
Getting, when you do breakout rooms and all of that, you can go into the breakout room and speak to a smaller group of people
Hmm.
um, the same way as he would speak to if you have big breakout rooms in because people don't sometimes they feel more comfortable in
Hmm.
smaller groups than in larger groups. And I think the online tools can actually help do that because not every training organization can have 3 or 4 different rooms that people can break into. So the
Yeah.
online tools can help do that. So yeah, I don't think it's that different. It's just technology can help us do that much more if it's online. But I still, if you ask me, if I had to put my money on it in person anytime, because that's where maybe old school, I don't know.
No, no,
Um,
I agree. I think that nowadays there's so much screen fatigue, and I think
mm,
that where we all came through the pandemic and we were on Zoom so much, and we all
mm,
of our meetings were on Zoom, and I think that everything is on a screen nowadays, and people
mm,
are desperate for connection, and that's why we're seeing. Brick and mortar retail have a revival. You know, Oxford Street's having a revival
mm,
because people want that connection, and I think that
absolutely.
you can only do so much behind a screen in terms of lasting connection, but to actually have somebody walk out of somewhere, it's like if you watch your favorite band at Glastonbury, right? And you're watching them on BBC, and you're sat at home and you got a drink and you go, that was great, and then you go to bed, you forget about it. You actually go to Glastonbury and you watch it, and then the next day, that's a lifetime memory with you. You're not getting a lifetime
Yeah,
memory behind a screen, but when you deliver fantastic training in person, engaging training in person, that is something that's half the battle of the training
yeah,
actually sticking.
yeah.
So yeah, I 100% agree with you. In-person training is the way forward. And you mentioned AI as well. Do you use AI much in your business? Have you found like ways that work for you in your workflow that you incorporate AI into it?
I use it a lot to for the if I have to deliver create a training course.
Hmm.
I use it to help tidy up things for me. But as an author myself, I'm good at writing anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe because that helps me speak better. But I find that it can do a lot more before it would take me days and days and days to tweak things. It will
Hmm.
help me to tweak things and faster than I would before. I have a schedule in terms of when I'm designing. Oh, I love designing courses, by the way. Did I mention that? I like
No, no, no.
designing. I
Okay,
design
we'll
courses.
drill into that. We'll drill into that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
designing courses, creating
Yeah.
templates. I have 6 template, a template of modules and all of that, which I already had several years before. But now AI can help me standardize it to make sure
Hmm.
that each of my training follows the same path. So
Yeah.
those are the things that it helps me do. But yes, designing training is also something that I love.
And so you say standardize it. So you mean it's almost like it helps sharpen your brand voice almost.
Yeah.
So there's like a thread throughout all of your training. You know that it's Lily training, and it's always going to be
Yes.
it kind of sharpens it. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
And you said about doing courses and authoring courses. Is there any secrets for engaging courses? Because I've gone on quite a few courses,
Mm.
especially online courses and things like that. Some of them are great, and some of them put me to sleep. Right.
Yeah.
So, do you have any tips for anybody that's looking to build courses?
Building practice.
Hmm.
Always building practice, always building quizzes, always building role play, role play. A lot of people don't like it.
Yeah.
But what's the point in coming to training to do the same old same?
Hmm.
So I think doing role plays, learning about yourself, learning about your team members, and also learning something new.
Yeah.
That's what role playing does. And but some people just do not want to be exposed at all.
Hmm.
And if you stay in that lane that you've always traveled on, and you've always gone down the M25 that way, and one day there's a roadblock. Are you going to move from that would be me. Are you going to move from the slow lane and go into the middle lane? Or are you
Yeah.
going, if you sit in the middle lane, are you going to be slow like I do when I sit there? Sometimes we need to switch lanes,
Hmm.
and not everybody comes on training who wants to do that. And I
Yeah.
have been asked, no role play
Hmm.
once. I remember I shall not mention that particular organization, otherwise I'll get sued. I said our training, we don't want any role play. So I had to, that was like 24 hours before, and I built in a lot of that. So I had to strip it back, and but I teased it, I used a little bit in there to test to see, and it was just one person that did
Hmm.
not want the role play. So I went
Yeah.
back in after the morning, sort of mid-morning session. I said, listen, I have a whole toolbox of things that we can do to in terms of exercises. It may look like role play, but it's not quite role play. Shall we try one and see how we do? And then when you make it competitive, people forget their friends, they forget
Hmm.
their mates, and all of a sudden they have different teams. One is blue, one is red, and that creates that momentum. So I think those are some of the secrets of making training stick.
Yeah.
Role plays, getting people to be more competitive within in the room, wherever it is.
Do you think it should be then? Do you think training should put you out of your comfort zone?
Yes,
Hmm.
yes. When you go to the gym, you go to the gym to strengthen your muscles, right? And I mean, sometimes I introduce myself. I ask people who've done workouts, who've had a personal trainer before in the race, and I ask them what they learned, and they say, "Oh, I went to lose weight, or I went to I don't think you lose weight in the gym really. You learn to strengthen your muscles and push yourself." Then I say, "Okay, I'm going to be your personal trainer today." And this is what we're going to do. You get better after you let there. So it's about trade. It's about I explain what we're going to do. And then I
Hmm.
also say that during the workout with your personal trainer, who does the work? And they say they do. And what does the personal training trainer do? They guide us as to how to do certain exercises. Exactly, that's what I'm here for. So that is it's a good I think it's a good analogy, but I don't know. You tell
It
me, Sam.
is. No, no, it is. I think that yeah, like you said, it is going to be. You're right. It's got to be hard work because you won't you won't feel the benefit of it, and you won't remember it if it's
Mm,
not hard work. And also, I think your gym analogy really sticks up as well, where like you know how you when you're doing weights and you're tearing
mm,
the muscle and it repairs, right? And you're tearing the
yeah.
muscle and it repairs. And you do it until you fail, essentially. You push and push and
Mm,
push until you fail. And I think your gym analogy stacks up there, where you go, you keep doing bits, doing bits, doing bits, doing bits until you stop and you go, okay, we've had enough for today, and everyone's
mm,
fried and frazzled.
yeah.
But come back the
Tomorrow
next day,
morning, they're up
tomorrow
and they
morning,
can they
they're
still
up, they're
feel
ready, they're
something.
fresh, and they've remembered something, and
Mm,
they feel something. Because I'm sure, as you know, you only remember 20% of a training day, a training session,
mm,
a training day. So I think making that 20% really, really like uh tough, challenging, putting them out of their
mm,
comfort zone
yeah.
is
But the trick is to make it enjoyable.
that's it. That's
You're
it,
not there
yeah.
as a school, you're not there to pontificate
No, no,
and
no, no.
tell people you're there, even if it's going to be tough,
Hmm.
it has to be enjoyable. People still have
Yeah,
to enjoy themselves. And there's
definitely.
often a fine balance between the two because you have to be there to be serious to get things moving. But in order to get people to perform, they have to feel slightly relaxed, a
Yeah,
little bit relaxed in order to give their best. And it's always very difficult to, get that balance right. They have to enjoy
sure.
themselves. Otherwise, they're like, oh, I don't want to do this. Oh, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. And that's hard when you get a couple that from the get-go, like I
Mm,
don't want to do this, and you're trying to bring it up. And yeah, you're hitting a point where it has to be enjoyable. If it's not enjoyable, you completely lose. It's like if you're reading a book and you're bored by the third chapter, it's not enjoyable.
mm,
Or it's too challenging, then you put it down. It's
mm,
finding the sweet spot. It's like I believe in, like, gamification, right?
mm,
Gamification in training sessions, as many games as possible, like you mentioned as well. Having games with competitive games with each other that pushes
mm,
their limits, but also when you come out of it at the end, you go, brilliant. I really enjoyed it. That was tough, but that was really, really enjoyable. And then
mm.
that's where the landing sticks, and all, the learning sticks, and also it's fun for us, right, as trainers, having
Yeah. Oh.
having that like that little competitive spirit in the room as well. How do you mentioned before as well, people that say, oh, I don't want to this is like a trainer to trainer speak, really. When
Mm,
you're in a room and there are some people that are sat there, arms folded.
mm,
There are some
mm,
people that are looking at their phone, not really engaged. How do
mm.
you deal with that?
Um, it's always very difficult, and I think reading the room is one of the first things I have to do. Make friends in the first 5 minutes, if you
Hmm.
can. But some people just don't want to. It's about leaving them be for a bit, let them be for
Okay.
a bit, because then they start to see they need to feel comfortable before they can get in there. So once you
Yeah.
start shuffling people around, and once you start building teams, I can find many a time the first half of the day, people are sitting in the corner. The second half of the day, once you've shuffled people around, they're not sitting with their mates anymore.
Hmm.
They start to build different friendships. And
Yeah.
that is when you can get them to come in. But in the first quarter of the day, I wouldn't fret too much. If
Hmm.
you fret too much, you spoil it for everybody for the rest of the day. Just let them be. Let them sit in the corner. Let them sit. Or there's been a time where, a couple of times where, like a senior person sitting there typing on their notes on their laptop. Don't show people up in front of others. Wait for the
Mm,
break and have that conversation.
yeah.
Say,
Yeah.
listen, we're here to do this, and you're the boss, really. Sitting there, you have to lead by example. Can I ask you that you let whoever you're responding to, that you're in training, or find a way of coming back into the room? And I didn't want to say anything before, but I
Yeah.
think it is important that you show others that you respect their time. But never
That's
show
great.
people up in front of others if you can.
Yeah.
Unless
Okay.
they come
No.
for me, I'm going for them. But normally
No, but
people don't.
no, I doubt. I was going to say, yeah, I doubt many people come for you, Lily. But I think that, yeah, showing not showing people up in front of others, and also
Mm,
calling out. It's important, isn't it, to
mm,
call out if there is something that's happening in the room. It's difficult to call it out, especially
mm,
when it's one of the leaders in the room, or when it's somebody that's organised the trainings in the room, but is not being beneficial to them being in the room. The other thing as well is if you start a training session and all of the managers from all the different departments are in the room and they're
mm,
watching the training session, I either
mm,
say, please feel free, sit and join, or it's going to make the team more comfortable
mm.
if you let it be the team. So it's
Yeah,
either you join or you let it be the team in the training session, because I think that nobody throughout a training session is going to be them full selves if they feel like they're being watched by all their managers, or a workshop or anything
absolutely.
like that. They're not going to be able to give all of themselves, not going to be able to say their true opinions. They're not going to be able to feel like it's a safe space to be able to
Mm, mm,
completely express. And I think, yeah, it's really, really important to get the space right.
yeah.
Talking of getting the space right, is there any little tricks or tips that you have in terms of setting up or lining up a training space?
Oh, training spaces are very dodgy places to be. I tend to I know where I'm going to be standing in front of everybody for
Hmm.
the rest of the day. So I need to scope out where I feel most comfortable in the room. So that means, of
Yeah.
course, arriving early and scoping out the room and seeing where I can stand and where the screen is going to be and where everybody else is going to sit.
Hmm.
And then when they come in, I try and find if I can find out before, make sure talking about people's managers, make sure that people's direct reporting lines are not in the same room if possible.
Yeah.
And mixing different departments. So during the introduction, I'm listening, I'm noting down which departments they're in. If they're in the same department, they don't sit next to each other because they're not there to make friends. They're here to learn. They can do that in the cafeteria at lunchtime or whenever. So I know it's a bit strict, like school
No, I
momish,
love it. I love it. It needs to be. Yeah.
um, but we're here to actually learn
Hmm.
something that will change tomorrow. If you're sitting with your mate or somebody that you have lunch with every day, what's the point? So
Yeah.
through that, I organize how people sit. Um,
Nice. Okay.
I organize how people sit and where the flip chart is going to be. A lot of flip chart things I often don't follow my slides at all.
Hmm.
I follow what's happening in the room and the
Yeah.
outcomes that people want.
Hmm.
I ask at the beginning, what is one thing that you want to take away from today?
Nice.
And if it's at number five of the training, I might move it forward. And module five of the training, I might move it up to module two. So,
Hmm.
change things around a little bit. But it's where people sit, where I'm going to be, and all of those things that matter. Because without that, you're just standing there and just pointing to slides and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that's how I
I
scope it, where people sit and where I sit.
Well, that affects the energy of the room, doesn't it? Totally.
Hmm.
Where everyone's sat, how much space you've got to move around in as well.
Hmm.
I've not seen you in a training space. I've seen you give a talk, and it's excellent. So I know how well you speak, and I know how well you use the space. So I can imagine that you need space to be to be moving
I
around in
need space
when
to
you're doing your
move.
training. So that makes total sense. And then when the training is finished, how do you know that it's landed well?
Again, I ask the question at the beginning.
Hmm.
Take my notes and say, what did you learn, and what could well, one thing that you will take away and do tomorrow or in the next
Nice,
week.
nice.
Always finish it with and the training also that I do. I give there's the one thing that I'll do consistently over the next 6 months.
Hmm. Okay.
And I have something called Find a Girlfriend.
Okay, what's
It
that?
A girlfriend is somebody, accountability partner, but I never use straightforward words. I use
No, I
words
like
that
it.
make
Yeah,
people
yeah.
think.
I remember that as
Find a
well.
goal, find a girlfriend in the
Hmm.
room that is
No.
accountable, and you, between the two of you, check on each other and
Okay.
make sure that you follow things through. So finding a girlfriend within the whatever you're doing, wherever you are, people then pair up, find their girlfriends, and then that's their commitment going forward. But one thing they wanted to learn, did they learn it? And which other thing will they take away and do consistently? And finding a girlfriend.
Love that. Accountability. So, I mean, in so many areas of life,
Mm,
right? I
yeah.
find accountability so effective and
Mm.
so important. So I love that. Finding a goal, friends. I'll remember that. There you go. It's
I
memorable
have
as
many
well.
girlfriends. I don't have that many girlfriends.
That's it. That's the mission. Find more goal friends in
Yeah.
life. Just let's find more goal
Just in
friends.
life. Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. You've spoken as well about props and your love of props. Just talk to me a little bit about that. Why you use props and the kind of props you use and why you find them effective.
For instance, in my personal branding classes, I use
Hmm.
a huge giant diamond.
Nice. Okay.
It's that big. It's
Is it how
heavy.
much is it insured for, Lily?
You have to ask De Beers. I can't tell you. Um, but and that prop is showing you that everybody is
Nice.
a diamond, and we all can shine depending on how we come. I mean, diamonds come from the ground; they don't look that wonderful, but that prop is to show that we're all diamonds in the rough, and
Amazing.
that helps people feel energized around
Okay.
that diamond. I let everybody touch that diamond. It's heavy. It's not just a small one that
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's heavy, so they feel the weight of the diamond within them and how
So
they can shine.
it's a prop so it's a metaphor, but
Yeah,
also you're using the five senses to bring it to life, right? Using
yeah.
the sense of
Touching it
touch.
and all of that and
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
at it and
Amazing. Okay.
how yeah. So yeah, the insurance on it, I can't tell you. I might, I'm, I might get mobbed on the way to my
Okay,
training.
yeah.
So yeah,
And get it
but
set in a ring.
my
Yeah.
famous bell, and it's this one,
Love it. A little
which
smiley face.
yeah, it's a smiley face, and I have two of them in
Hmm.
each training session, perhaps a third. I have a lot of those, perhaps a third, and it's when we do the competitive stuff that both teams can have a bell, and
Hmm.
the people that can answer it first get a point.
Nice.
And
Okay.
I use it's sort of like in the university challenge.
Yeah, I was thinking like that, like a game show, like a
Yeah.
first to the buzzer, bing, nice.
At the end, people forget they're learning. They think they're
Yeah.
having fun. And so if they create their own team names
Hmm.
and they say it could be team, I don't know, team Starmer or team Burnham. It could
Very
sometimes
political.
it's political
Excuse me.
things like that. So team Starmer, team, Burnham. And so before they answer the question, they have to say the team name before they press the bell. So the president will say, Team
Nice.
Starmer, this is the answer. It's so much fun.
Love it. Love it. And that's it. Like you mentioned before, gamifying training, making it feel like this is not just a training session. This is an
Yeah.
all like this is a game. This
Mhm.
is fun. This is something that we're going to remember. And the use of props, brilliant, brilliant.
Yeah.
So I
So,
just want to take a quick turn then around to talking about the customer experience. And
ooh,
I love talking about the customer experience, all about the
yeah.
customer experience, and I know that you are too as well, Lily. So I want to just delve a little bit deeper into customer experience and find out what customer experience means to you. So, firstly, do you have a favorite retailer?
I do, I do, I do. A favorite brand.
A
A
private brand.
favorite
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
brand.
perfect. Because brands,
Favorite
a lot
brand
of time
because
in
they
retail.
they do retail and I mean if I have an option to shop there every day I would, but I don't think my
Of
accountant will
course,
allow
Louis
me.
V.
It's Louis Vuitton,
Hmm.
and so I love their luxury bags and stuff. I don't think I've bought a pair of shoes there before, nor
Hmm.
clothing, but like sunglasses and things like that.
Yeah.
Those things because I like the detail. But what I love most about them is their customer service.
Hmm.
It's
Okay.
professional, it's clean, it's unfussy. You go, I mean, now you have to log in to go there, whereas before, when we used to go, we didn't have to queue or do anything. You just
Yeah,
walked
yeah.
in. But now I think everybody goes, well, that's the snobbing coming up, please God, no. So now you have to log in and somebody will
Hmm.
come and see you, whereas before it wasn't like that. And
Yeah.
I've always found, okay, I have been to the other brands like the Gucci's and Hermes. I'm not sure it's my type of brand
Okay.
because I just find it is so exclusive. It excludes the average person who has
Yeah.
some money.
Yeah.
And I don't want to feel like it's too exclusive that nobody can get in.
Okay.
So that's the Hermes
Interesting.
one for me. But Louis Vuitton is still accessible.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
still the exclusivity is still there. It's still accessible. And that's why I like that brand.
What do you think then other brands could learn from Louis Vuitton?
Um, the fact that they treat every customer like somebody important when they
Hmm.
walk in.
Yeah. Okay.
Not because of what's in their wallet or whether they've bought from them before,
Hmm.
but that person can walk in and ask for something. And I'll give you one example, quite recent. I think it was over Christmas.
Hmm.
I lost my sunglasses case of a
Okay.
Louis Vuitton sunglasses on the way to Brussels somewhere. That long story. And I thought, I want my case back. So I walked into the shop and I spoke to a young man, and he said, "Wait." Then he said, to go to, join the queue and speak to someone when you get to the desk.
Okay.
We were also shopping for something else. My friend was shopping for something else, so we looked through everything else. And once we'd done everything, the young man came back and gave me a spare case as a thank you for waiting.
Beautiful.
Do you know
Beautiful.
why wouldn't I go back over
Yeah.
and over again? Because
Yeah.
they don't actually sell those cases. You can't buy them. It
Yeah.
comes with the case, it comes with the glasses when you buy them. So
Hmm.
for me, it's not about, it's how you make people feel. Customer experience is how you make people feel that they want to come back or they want to tell their friends to go there.
Yeah.
And for me, that's
Yeah.
what they can learn from that.
Beautiful. And in 2026, what do you think makes a great customer experience? You know, we've got the rise of self-service checkouts now. We've got the rise of retailers cutting back a lot on store staff,
Mm,
because sometimes it's the high streets are finding it tough out there. Some high streets are thriving, some high streets are finding it tough, and the landscape has changed. The retail landscape has changed drastically, even in the
mm,
time that I've been in retail for over 20 years, and I've seen it with my own eyes
mm.
change drastically. What do you believe retailers need to do to keep the customer experience alive in 2026?
I think having, I know you can't having someone greet you when you walk in,
Hmm.
I think makes the difference between, the Tesco's and the Sainsbury's of this world on the high street.
Mm.
Having someone greet you, not for anything, but just to acknowledge you.
Yeah, so
And when
powerful.
they go, you're going, thanks for stopping by. a greeter is worth it because they're the first people. They're going to come with a smile, and you then feel you can ask them where a particular, where the coconut water is today,
Hmm.
because they change things around. Retailers don't change things around. Where is the coconut water today? You can ask them that. It makes,
Yeah.
that means they're not walking around the whole. So having someone to greet people at the entrance is
Nice.
one
Okay.
thing. What else? I'm just thinking. I have so many things to say, but I don't want to say too much because of the till situation where self service is the main thing. When you have people at the end of the self-service, there has to be somebody there to help older people who do
Yeah.
not want to do the self-service, but they're forced to do that. There has to be somebody there to help them because not older people or people who are disadvantaged
Hmm.
because technology is not there. Taking cash. My mom will never go to the shops, but now you go to the shop, they don't take cash. That
Yeah.
is
Very true.
so the need to start thinking that, people in their 60s
Hmm.
may not be using credit cards or may not be using or tapping or using their phones. I don't have a phone wallet. I have a
Yeah.
wallet for that, but I don't use that. I use the proper card.
Yeah. 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 Nice.
Um, but believe it or not, we have more disposable income than the 23-year-old with a tap tap.
Yeah. Very good
Yeah.
point. Very good point.
And
Yes.
therefore open the cash tills.
Hmm.
I beg you, open the cash tills. But yeah, that's one of the things. Open the cash tills because those with the money
Yeah.
may still want to use cash and give people more choice than restricting it to the cashless or tap 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 society. The old school
That's really
people still like to
interesting.
spend. Yeah.
No, I was going to say that's really interesting. Do you think that it's the rise of the technology within retail has killed connection somewhat?
Oh, most definitely.
Hmm.
Definitely has because we're relying so much on technology to do a lot for us that you can go to the shop and not speak to a human and come out. But for a lot of people, I suppose those that when we start talking about loneliness within the older generation, the trip to Sainsbury's on a Wednesday afternoon with their trolley bag was the highlight of their day.
Yeah.
They get on the bus, they speak to the bus driver, they'll talk to everybody on the bus, get off, go to the shop, and sometimes even to get warmth in the
Hmm.
winter months. Going to the shops is to actually feel warm because wherever they are is cold. I go to the shops in the summer months when it's too hot and I'm walking in, there's the free I go and stand by the
Oh, it's the
freezer
nicest.
section.
It's the night when you walk in, and even when you just there's some aircon being blasted out, especially in
Oh,
the last few weeks. Like, yeah, just going to the shops just to get the aircon, right?
yeah,
But it's
exactly.
it's knowing these things, isn't it? And I think it's knowing knowing why somebody is coming in, and you hit on the greeting so beautifully there. Like it's the greeting, it is the most powerful thing because you can find
Mm,
out everything you want to know about the customer then and there, and also the customer finds out everything that they want to know about you as a retailer then and there
yeah.
within that greeting. It takes 7 seconds to make a first impression,
Mm, yeah.
and so having that, and like you say, you go in, maybe they are just coming in for the aircon. Great, no
Yeah.
problem. There's still a body in your shop that you can talk about, and maybe they don't want to buy anything then and there, but if you treat them well, you sow the
They'll come
seeds,
back.
they'll come back, or they'll tell somebody else, I was in this amazing shop, I spoke to Lily, I spoke to Sam, I'll
Mm,
take you in next time I'm in town, and we'll go and have a look because I know that you're looking for something like that. Then you're
yeah.
always sowing the seed. So, and the cash thing is really really interesting because yeah, we're going to we are in a cashless world now. We're not even
Mm,
going to a cashless world. We're nearly there where you just can't pay with cash. and excluding people that will just pay with cash for whatever reason,
Mm,
it's putting an extra barrier up. And I know obviously cash, it's with cashing up, and it takes a lot. But the most worrying thing I think in retail is the statistic that if you don't give a good first impression
mm.
with a retailer, 80% of people will take their business elsewhere, but they won't
Yeah,
say anything. Right? The older
yeah.
generation, they might not be putting these big reviews online.
Mm,
They might not go on Trustpilot. They might not send a bad comment. It's the
mm.
quiet quitters that are the ones that you got to worry
Ah,
about,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I think that retailers, if they don't bend to that, they're going to start seeing a lot more quiet quitters and not realizing
Mm,
actually what's happening because we're getting good reviews everywhere. Like, what's
mm.
going on? But people aren't coming in the door. It's the quiet quitters that don't write the
Quiet
reviews.
quitters. Love that.
That's
Mm.
that is the worrying thing, definitely for I think for retail in 2026 certainly. Is there like any specific like moment apart from your Louis Vuitton moment with your glasses case? Any moment within like high street retail that's spoken to you recently, or any high street retailers you've been in and they've given you a moment that's gone, you know what, that's stuck with me.
Oh, this is a negative one, but
Oh yeah,
it could be a teachable moment.
yeah. Well, this is great. This is great because it's sometimes it's much easier, isn't it? And
Mm,
unfortunately that's why I also the playing field is wide open. Whenever I'm
mm,
doing training with retailers, one of the first things I start with is the playing field is wide open because it's much easier for us to think about negative experiences than we've had
mm,
than
mm.
positive experiences. So yeah, no, go for it.
Um, a few weeks ago, I went to buy a pair of, well, I went for an eye test.
Hmm.
And I got there slightly earlier because I thought, I'm in the neighborhood. I'll go there early. But then when I got there, I thought, oh, I needed to go to the bathroom. So
Hmm.
I asked the lady, "Can I use your bathroom?" And actually, no. When I got there, two of the people that were supposed to be front desk had their backs to me. And I stood there for a good 30 to 45 seconds before anybody, so there was no greeter, before
Okay.
anybody looked up to see that there was somebody waiting. Maybe they should have had a bell and I would have like ping.
You would have been,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
40 Towers comes to mind. Um, but so one of them turned over and I said, I'm slightly early, but in the meantime, can I use your bathroom whilst I'm waiting?
Mhm.
And we don't have customer bathroom here. And she stopped right there. I thought, okay, and just left it at that. What I would have preferred her to, but luckily I knew the place where it was. It was Vision Express, Bromley. I've said it.
Mhm.
And I knew where the bathroom was within the
Yeah.
glades.
Okay.
So I took myself off and came back. And but all that person could have done is, sorry, madam, we don't, of course, madam, or miss, whichever, we don't have a customer bathroom here. However, if you turn left, just a few shops away down the corridor, you will see a guest bathroom for everybody
Hmm.
else. And but I'll keep your spot waiting for you. That's it.
Yeah.
That is customer service. Don't just say no. Say no. However, if the
Hmm.
no is no because you don't have if you don't have that, you don't have that. But there's an option
Yeah.
that
The
that
no,
customer,
however, that's so powerful. Yeah.
yeah. However, there's something else I can offer you, which is A, B, or C. That's it.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I came back with this. I was already cross, and then the series of events meant that I'm never, ever, ever going back again. And I remember saying to you, Sam, I wish I had your cards with me because I would have left some with them that this is not customer service. If you need training, call Sam. Sam will come in retail customer training, call Sam. So I'm still waiting for those cards though,
All
because
right.
because if I I can't just write it down, but I can just
Mhm.
leave it on there for you. So we need
Yeah,
to swap cards,
definitely,
Sam, you and
definitely.
I.
I'll give you some, and
Um,
yeah, you can help
I'll still
spread the
go
word.
back there and give it to them because they did
Yeah,
send me a form to fill in afterwards, and I didn't bother.
yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't be bothered.
Isn't it like it can be as a business, and it's such a shame when one bad experience from maybe somebody that's not having a great day, or maybe it can be so many different reasons, but one member of the team can create a bad reputation
Mm,
for the business. All it takes is one, and that's why constant customer experience,
mm,
sharpening the sword with customer
mm,
experience every day is so important, and not letting it just not expecting that everybody in your team's given it just because you can see one or two giving an amazing experience. It's the making sure that everybody's given
mm.
it, and coaching on the shop floor and all sorts of different things. So no, thanks for sharing that, Lily. Final question for you. When we get into,
Okay.
we're gonna get into your personal side here, Lily. What
Okay.
books, movies, media
Ooh.
are you enjoying at the moment? Which there's two parts to this question, so I want to talk about that, and then it might be these, or it might be something completely different. But what
Mm.
brings you the most joy?
So the two parts, the books and the joy. The book's bringing me joy right now.
Hmm.
I haven't, I was reading the book on the plane back from Virginia, which was Will Smith's book, and it was, an eye-opener for me in
Oh
terms
yeah.
of how he started his journey. And it was all about not giving up.
Hmm.
And still, when you get that call, you may not know all your lines, but still turn up.
Yeah.
And the reason why you've been called to do a particular part is that somebody has recommended you. And therefore, that means you are um, actually going to deliver their promise.
Hmm.
So that, yeah, it's a very interesting. I know everybody had written it off after that, Oscar thing, but it's worth reading. Oops, sorry.
No, you're right.
And of course, Work Your Quirks, the
Of
book of the
course.
century. Work Your Quirks is the businesswoman's companion to a sparkling personal brand,
Amazing.
penned by myself, Lily Naadu Mensah. But can you see the diamond
I can
in
see the
there?
diamond. Yeah, I can see it. And is that the diamond that you hand around?
I would wish I could say that, but I had this
It's an approximation
generated,
of it. Then let's say,
yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, and some you are holding a diamond in your hand.
I
And that's
love
what the
it.
whole book
I love
about.
it.
It's the whole book is about how to unearth that diamond within to make it shine. And then there's lots and lots of things, but it is worth looking at, even for blokes. I know it's
Okay,
worth
no,
looking at for strategies on how to build your personal brand and keep it sparkling all the time. Because we're all brands now. I know everybody talks
very
about personal
true.
brand, but this is actually almost 10 years old.
Wow. And where can people get that? Where can we pick it up?
Oh, Amazon. You can get it on
Amazon.
Amazon.
Brilliant.
And I actually did an audio version of it, so it's on Audible too. You can listen to my voice.
So if you've enjoyed listening to Lily's voice today, and you want more of Lily's voice reading you the book, you can get it on Audible. Right, amazing. Okay, all right. Work your
Um,
quirks, Lily. Brilliant stuff. They're the books
they're the
that you
books.
recommend. Any movies, anything else that you want to recommend that's inspiring you or anything?
Movies, in terms, I mean, but general joy is when I'm training somebody or when I'm coaching somebody
Hmm.
and I see how they started and how tall they've grown, whether it's within the day or it's within 3 or 4 months. I just look at that person, and for me, it's like birthing a child and seeing that child.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I do know what you mean,
Because
though.
at the
Yeah.
beginning it's hard,
Yeah.
and then they grow and it's like pride. That's sort of, no, okay, proud auntie. sort of thing. So for me, it's seeing people grow that I worked with, and you're like, wow, I'm so,
Love
so,
it.
so proud. Other things that bring me joy: music,
Hmm.
jazz, old school funk, that sort of thing. But I'm quite open. I'm quite
Nice.
open. There's a festival at the South Bank
Hmm.
talking about the future of jazz, or the jazz of UK, or the future of music. So I tend to go to these sort of little smaller things, quirky things, like just listen to new music, and it could be
Yeah.
anything. It could be anything. So I'm not particular about that. It has to sound good.
Yeah.
Some of the music I've listened to, and I know it's weird, it would be weird, that I'm loving right now is what's it? It's like it's called Whiskey. No, it's got two. Oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the song,
Whiskey.
but I play it all the time. I take
Mm.
my whiskey, I take my
Oh,
whiskey
Hosier.
neat. What's it
Yeah.
called?
My coffee black and my
Yeah,
hair.
my coffee
Um,
black and my bed are three. That one.
no,
You're too something.
something about, yeah, too
Too
sweet for, yeah, yeah,
sweet.
yeah, yeah. Great
Yeah,
song.
I love that song. So it's not a jazzy song, but it's a nice song. And I like the beat and I like the lyrics in there. I listened, lyrics are very good for writers. Did you know
Mm,
that? If you
yeah.
write, don't just read. Listening to lyrics can help you explore more. And I learned that in creative writing course that I did at the Open University.
Oh wow. Okay,
Yes.
that's interesting. Yeah, because I'm a
Mm,
big fan of lyrical music. Bob Dylan, Leonard Cohen, Bright Eyes, my favorite band. So I think, and yeah, seeing that as a connection between actually being creative, because I suppose when you're lyric writing, you've got to, it's like a haiku, isn't it, really? Like you're constrained, you have to fit
mm,
what you want to say within a certain rhythmic pattern.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's a real skill with doing that. So your palette isn't as big to pick from, so you've got to be really
Mm,
creative with how you put everything together. So that makes total sense there, yeah. And a
yeah.
little thing with Hosier, I went to Windmill Lane recording studios when I was in Dublin. What was it, about 3 4 months ago now, and we did a tour of Windmill Lane, and the owner of Windmill Lane toured us around. And basically, what Windmill Lane is, it's where all of the big Irish artists have recorded. So U2 have recorded there. Bruce Springsteen came to the UK and he did vocals in Windmill Lane. Some of the biggest Irish artists anyway, and some of the biggest artists in the world. But he said, I asked him who did he love working with, and he said Hosier was absolutely one of his favourite. He said he's the nicest musician, like, or one of the nicest musicians he's met, and
Mm,
also just like so deeply talented at what he does, lyric writing, melodies, vocal, everything like that. It's all in the one, and
mm,
to have that obviously in Dublin where there's a lot of great music, Hosey
mm-hmm.
is the real deal. So yeah, it's a great song, great artist as well. So yeah, glad
Mm.
you brought that up.
So yeah, so music, jazz, and there's one other book I wanted to share. There's a
Yeah,
book
yeah,
called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. It's a very old book.
yeah,
I've given to many people in the past. Now I just send them the link. Feel
yeah,
the fear
nice.
and do it anyway. Especially for those who are stepping on stage soon.
Yes,
I
yes,
know,
no,
just feel the fear and do it anyway because everybody wants you to win.
love it, love it. Yeah, I think you know what? I've got that book somewhere in my collection, and I've read it many, many years ago. But
Mm,
back when I read it, I didn't know how to. This is going to sound really silly. I didn't know how to read properly, and what I mean by that is I read it and I read it, and then I was like, okay, great, I've read it, and then as you do with training, you only remember 20% of it. Now, when I'm
mm,
reading a book like that, I'll be getting the highlighter out. I'll be making loads of notes on
mm,
there,
mm,
scribbling on it, writing all over it, and having I heard somebody say, reading properly should be like having a conversation with the author, and that's how it goes
mm,
in a lot. So I think that that might be one to get out and have a conversation with the author, Lily. So yeah, thank you. You've
Mm,
inspired me
yeah,
to re-look in my collection and find that one.
that's a great book,
Yeah.
and a joy. I have found my toughest challenge as a trainer
Hmm.
in more recent weeks in
Okay.
teaching my 91-year-old mom how to use Alexa, because that requires clarity.
Hmm.
It requires a lot of consistency of repeating the same thing.
Yeah.
It requires a huge amount of patience and then watching them get more confident in
Yeah. An amazing
themselves.
feeling.
And yeah, for me, my mum and the Alexa and the teaching journey, it's like, do you know what? I'm actually quite good at this. I'm glad I've done so many that I've got my star pupil or my star student, and they're actually listening to me and learning. So yeah, for me, that's the
Hey,
joy. Family, family.
for
Final job.
sure. For sure. And I mean, if you can teach your mum how to use Alexa, right? At that
Yeah.
age,
At
like
that age, yeah.
amazing. That's gonna set you up. You're gonna be able to teach anything, I think, on you. So,
Absolutely. That it's I had to really think through the steps that I needed to take to
yeah.
make sure that I bring myself to her level,
Hmm.
not assume she would know as much as me, to
Yeah.
bring myself to her level and teach at her level. And
Yeah.
that's what I think a good trainer does. Not assume they know too much, just find out what their level is,
Yeah.
meet them there, and then try to bring them up to the level that they're comfortable.
Amazing.
And
Hey, well,
yeah,
she's a
that's
very
what
lucky
great
mum
trainer think. Yeah,
to
well,
have a daughter like
I'm a
you to teach her.
I'm lucky. I'm a lucky daughter. Trust me.
Hey, it goes both ways, doesn't it? It goes both
Yeah.
ways, definitely. Oh, Lily, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. Anything that you want to finally leave our listeners with?
Um, let's see. One thing that I think has sort of I've talked about in other spaces, but I think here too is a space worth remembering
Hmm.
that j- of course, it's my bread and butter, training people, creating, certification and all that. But I also wonder whether we're collecting certificates for the sake of it.
Interesting.
I don't want
Okay.
to put myself out of business or out of a
Mm,
job, but people are collecting training, and there people are over certified and under experienced. They don't have the experience to do the job in hand. So, learning and development departments really have to think, are we training people to be certified, or are we actually getting the training that they need to do tomorrow's job better? And that is the big question that I'm always trying to ask my clients. What are you trying to achieve? If certification is all you're achieving, I don't think my training course is actually yours. I want to change behavior. I
hmm.
want to be transformative, the training to be transformative rather than just collecting I can dish out certificates because they've done it. It's just a piece of paper,
Yeah.
but I want the training to be transformative. And that's why somebody who designs the training is probably as important as the person that delivers the training. And they're two distinct people. Anybody can deliver training and anybody can design the courses, but if you get the two, you've probably hit the right note on that. So that's my final thing. Over
Amazing.
certified doesn't always get us what we want in the real world.
Yeah. Yeah. No, very powerful. Lily, thank you so much for joining me today on the Shop of Joy. Where can people find you if they want to follow you on all the socials and everything?
LinkedIn is my first love. I was on LinkedIn before I went on Facebook. I've been on LinkedIn for over 20 years, by the way. Don't tell anybody. Um, LinkedIn is my first love. And more recently, I'm going towards TikTok. Sam, come and join me in
Nice.
TikTok. TikTok
Okay.
Live.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right. I'm there. I'm there. Okay. So what's your TikTok? Where can people follow you? Just type in your name, they'll find you on TikTok.
Find Lady Mensa.
Lady
Lady
Mensah
Mensa
on
everywhere.
TikTok.
That's it.
Amazing. And
Lady
Work Your
Mensa on
Quirks book on
Work Your
Amazon.
Quirks book, Amazon, Audible, and all other places.
Brilliant. Hey, well, Lily, thank you so much for your time today. I've really, really enjoyed our conversation, and I hope that all your listeners got something out of that, or as much out of that as I did, because that was a brilliant insight into the world of corporate training, but also the world of customer experience as well. Thank you, everybody. This has been the Shop of Joy. Look forward to seeing you all on our next episode. Take care.